Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to this live stream. My name is Jorge Rangel, for whoever doesn't already know me. This is the second, I believe, the second part of these live streams in which I am going to be creating an application from scratch in Apphive. The objective, as I told you the last time, is to create an application using Stripe. So let's go right into it. Let me give me a moment because I am still configuring my screens so I can show you the process. Give me a moment. I'm going to get my iPad to run the previewer, and I'm going to show you the information there. Okay, and we are also going to get a refresher in what we are trying to accomplish and what we already have, because there are a lot of things about this project that will be useful to anyone, right? Give me a moment. I am typing something in my iPad so I can create it. Give me a moment. There you go. Okay. Okay. This part is already there. And I'm going to start sharing my screen. Give me a moment, please. Okay, there you go. That's correct. And let's present it. Okay, I believe it's already there. You can see my screen there, my homepage, in fact. And let's connect my iPad so you can see my previewer. Give me a moment. Where is my quick time? There you go. And here, let's create a new movie recording. And instead of using my webcam, let's use my iPad screen. Okay, and let's maximize this one so I can have it alongside my editor, right? So now, which one was the application that we were building? I believe it's called Stripe, if I remember correctly. No, this one is not the correct one, but it is Stripe Store. I believe it's Stripe Store. Okay, this is the one. Remember, we were trying to build an application to sell stuff for your dog, and we have a splash screen right here. So let's go back here to the uh, to the application in the previewer to see what we have there. But before we do that, I want to change the icon of this application so we can actually easily uh, get that from the list. So let's make a screenshot of this cute dog right here, and that screenshot is going to be my application icon, right? If I go to the dashboard of the application by clicking on the gear alongside the name of the application, and I click here, I can go to the upload file, click on choose, go to the stock, and there you go. That's the dog. Select the file, and there you go. Now we have the application with the dog as the icon. If I go back here and I go out of my account and log back in, I did that in order to refresh the list of application of projects in my homepage. There you go. So now I can see my dog right there. And let's try it out. First, the splash screen, then a welcome page. You do not have an account on this device, please enter using your Google account. There you go. Remember, it detects that the user is not logged in. Then I select the account. And after that, again, the dog. And there you go. We have the home page right there. And remember, we have at the top the name and the splash screen and the profile picture that we load from our database. Here we are. So for example, here, welcome, we are loading the data. We have a get data. This get data goes to a collection called public profile data that has the display name and the profile picture URL. That's all the information we are going to be loading there from Firebase, because that's the information that we are showing, right? And after we get that data, we have two options. The first one is when the data is empty, and the second one is when the data is full, which is this one right here. When the data is empty, we do a lot of stuff. We first get the user ID and the Firebase profile picture and the Firebase name from Firebase directly. And after that, we do validations, right? The validations that we do is that we return a path in which we are going to save the user data, and we get the value. The value is the profile picture, which is the profile picture that we have in Firebase. And if nothing is there, we get a profile picture that is the default one. And we do something similar with the name, right? Why we do that? Because some accounts in Google doesn't have all the information, doesn't have a profile picture, or if you are going to be adding Facebook, for example, or Apple login, then those give even less information. So the information now is controlled by your application, and this profile picture that we see right here is saved in our application. If we go to the database right here and go on the profile data, you can see the ID of my user, the display name, and the URL of our profile picture, right? If we change, for example, the name Jorge R instead of Jorge Rangel, and we save that, and we go back here and refresh the application, you will see the name should change, right? There you go, Jorge R. So we now have complete control over the information that is shown right there. Now, the second part of this is that we have to put here the options that the user is able to see, right? And I believe we actually start to do that the last time, right? We have the unload of this page, and we have to modify controls. The first one is load display name. There you go. Let's collapse it. The second one is load profile picture. Enter, and there you go. Let's collapse it. And then we have here get database data, and we have here a name that indicates us what we were trying to do, which is checking if the user is an administrator. If we open the browser, we can have here admin user by ID. We have the user ID, and we didn't put any values here in the fields. Why? Because we are going to check if the user is admin there. So after the query ends, we have a compute function, and we put the user is admin information here. And when we get that information in the code compute, we return two options. One is purchase gear, and the other is products catalog. And we check if the user is admin. If the user is admin, we always shows this information. When the user is not admin, we only shows the information that doesn't requires us to be administrators, right? And after that, we do a debug log. If we go to our logs section and we remove everything, so we can start from scratch. Let's open our development console from the browser. In this case, is Google Chrome. We can see here or inspect the information that our application logs in the iOS or Android, in your case, if you're using Android or Android previewer. Let's refresh the application. Let's let the application load the information, and we land in the home page, right? And we have a log. The log shows us the information that was returned from the code compute. In this case, it's only purchase gear. Why? Because our user in the database that we have doesn't looks like an administrator, doesn't have an information in that part of the database that we have right here, right? So now we are going to be using this list right here to create the buttons that will be showing to the user to navigate to other pages, right? So here in the middle section of our application, we are going to add that, okay? So if we go back here, let's add another container. This container right here is going to be function as our item. And inside this container, let's add a new button. This button right here is going to be one for each one of the options that we have. Let's change the size of this button so it's relative, the width, sorry, so it's relative to the container that it has as parent. So let's press this button right here in the style section, which changes from pixels to percentage. And here, let's change the value. Let's maybe 90%. 90% it's a good one. There you go. Let's change the roundness of this button because now it's a little bit rounder than I really like it. So let's put here 1, for example, and everything changed because we have anchors active in each one of the values, right? Okay, that's more for my style. Let's change the background color to something a little bit more clearer. How do you say it? It's not clearer, it's a lot less strong. I don't know how to describe that in English, but this is when you create a color that it doesn't look like it's a lot lighter. It's that's the word that I was searching for, and the text should be less light. So right there you go, and each one of these buttons will have a different text depending on the option that I will give them, right? So let's put that there, and after that, let's go to the onload event on our page right here, and let's use these options that we have here in the debug log to create a list. In order to do that, let's add another function, which is collection, add collection to UI, right? And this add collection to UI will take the values from the code compute, and let's rename the code compute to something that we remember the function from, generate home options, okay? And here, generate home options, and in the modify elements, let's select the center of our screen, and here in data, let's select the button. Let's change the label. The label is the text that we see on the screen, and let's select the value from each one of the items in the list. In this case, is the option which is called name, the property, sorry, not the option, the property that it's called name. And after that, let's try it out, right? Let's restart this one. There you go, that's our cute dog right there. And there you go, we have the options right there. The only option that we have is purchase gear because our user is not an admin right now, right? And we can press the button, nothing happens because we didn't put any listener on the event to press the button, right? And if we click and exit application, we return to the home screen, right? Let's log in again. There you go. Now we need to add another option because the first thing that we are going to be doing is creating Stripe product. So in order to do that, let's make our user an administrator. If we go here to the public profile data, we can get the ID of this user in particular. And if I go to the admin user by ID, let's add new information. Okay, we need a field, is active. This field is only a placeholder because we need a field to create a collection right here, which is not actually how native Firebase works, but we are now working on a function to select information from Firebase without using this UI, right? Let me check if that is actually there in my backlog of information, backlog of task to do. Okay, let me check. db read by path directly. Okay, give me a moment. Oh, okay. I didn't found it, but I am creating the task right now, so it can be done, and we can use it in live streams that we do in the future, right? So let's put this one. There you go. I already put it. I know you didn't see that in my screen because I did that in another screen in our task manager. So there you go. Now I can add a value right here. Instead of putting the auto-generated value, let's use the ID of my user. And here, let's put a 1 and save the data. Now the user has data there, right? So if I go back here and refresh the application, okay, there you go. Now we have a products catalog and purchase gear, right? Let's go back here, and I don't like the amount of space between each button, so let's change that by making this smaller. Maybe like that. Let's go back here and restart. There you go. We have a purchase gear and a products catalog. Okay, now we need to add the functionality so when I press the button, it goes to the actual page. In order to do that, we need a lot of stuff because first, let's see the logs of both options here. And we have the name, only admins. Okay, we can use the name to switch between pages in the list, but I prefer if we use an ID. Why? Because IDs are better for us to be using. So when we generate the list right here on compute, get generate home pages, home options. Here we have the two of them, and we can put a unique ID in each one of them, right? So if I go back here, ID, and here this one is A, ID, this one is B. I can use the ID to switch between pages instead of the name. That I think that's a little bit better. So let's go back here and let's go to the function to modify the elements. Let's remove this debug log, is not needed anymore. And let's go again inside of it and to the functions section. Here, let's click on the button and add a new onPress function. Here, let's add a debug log. Sorry, the onPress is not a function, it's an event, and the debug log is the function. And the parameter for this debug log in particular is going to be the information from this item, all the information on this item. So let's try it out. Restart right here. Oh, and let's remove all the logs in my list. And here, let's click on purchase, and then let's click on products catalog. Here we have the purchase and the products catalog. Now we can use the ID to change the value on the on click. How I'm going to navigate to both pages. So first, let's add the pages. We need a page to purchase gear. In that page, we need to first load the information from the gear, and the other one is products catalog, in which also we need to load the information from the products and then show them to the user. So let's copy this page right here one time, and this, as I'm going to change the name to the name from this one to products catalog loader. This one will load the information from the products catalog. So welcome loading products catalog data. Okay, there you go. This one, I'm going to delete everything in the onload event on this page, and let's return to this one. Remember, the one that will go to the products catalog is the B ID here in my console. So let's go back here to the onPress event, and instead of putting a debug log right here, let's add a code compute. This code compute will be our switcher. Our switcher is going to be purchase gear, and the second one is going to be products catalog. There you go. And inside of here, let's in the arguments, let's add the ID of the item that we are selecting. And that ID comes from the list context.id, right? And after that, let's go back here and access that information from the code, right? Args. And inside of here, instead of putting the name of the input value, is called ID, which is this one right here. And after that, let's switch. Remember, we are switching. Switch ID. The default case doesn't do anything. The case that we have right now is case B, which is products catalog. And don't forget to put the break. Remember, we need to break the break because when we add subsequent options, we need a break to indicate JavaScript where to end with each one of the options, right? Then a new line right here, and let's add apphive.function.call callback. And the callback that we are going to be calling is going to be products catalog, right? And there you go. Now we need to add the information in the products catalog callback. In this case, I'm going to be adding a debug log to check if everything is working correctly. And here, let's put go to, no, instead of putting the debug log, let's add directly the navigation to the product catalog loader, right? So let's go back here. On product catalog loader, here let's put a replace top page. And here let's add products catalog loader. Let's check it out. Let's check if everything is working. Go back here. Let's restart the application. Or splash screen. Product gear doesn't do anything. Product catalog gives us the opportunity to go to the products catalog data. There you go. We have the basics. Now in this page, we need to load the information from the product catalog and then prompt the user to create a product, right? Before we do that, I need to check if the Stripe key is already in the application. So if we go back here, environment variables, we don't have any environment variables. Let's add one, Stripe key. There you go. And I'm going to be opening my Stripe account. I'm going to open it in another browser window that you don't see in the screen, because first I'm going to make sure the account that I have open is the one that I use for these tutorials for security reasons, right? Give me a moment. I am doing that right now. Okay, as I expected, I have another account that is not the one that is meant to be shown in these tutorials open. I am closing it. I think that's the correct one. And I am now opening the correct one. Give me a moment. There you go. Now it is open. You can see it's in test mode because I have this orange banner right there. Remember, when you create your Stripe account, it will be in test mode always. If you want to enable production mode, you have to add additional information to your Stripe account. If I go now to the developers section, and to the API keys, we can see the publishable key that we are going to be using in the client, and we have the secret key. The secret key is to use on the server. I'm going to reveal it, copy it, and hide it. Remember, this project is just a dummy project used to teach. Forgive me a moment. Give me a second. Sorry, I thought I hear something here in my house. Sorry about that. So I can copy the environment variable here, and I can apply the changes. Now the information from this key is uploading to our server. I already have a task, so this will be instantaneous in development. In production, it will need to deploy the functions. So let us continue, right? Go back here, and here. And now I want to load the products, but the products are not going to be loaded directly from Stripe. Why? Because Stripe is not designed as a database. You can't query Stripe each time the user wants information. You need to have a mirror of the information that you have on Stripe in your database, because your database is meant to be queried constantly when the user is getting the information, right? But in Stripe, you only query Stripe when you are doing actions to the information on Stripe. For example, when you are creating a product, you are going to be sending commands via the API from Stripe to Stripe. But when the user requests the list of products that are available, you do not request them directly from Stripe. You use your database. So what information do we need for each one of the products? We only need three parts of the information: the ID, we need the cost, the price in US dollars, and the name of this product. So let's do that. Let's create a collection that will have that information. Remember, the collections that we create in Firebase, they are called collections only in Apphive. In raw Firebase, you don't have collections, you only have paths to the information. But we have collections here just as a tool to remind you what you have, right? But it's not really necessary either. Okay, so now let's create the collection. The collection is going to be called Products Catalog. Remember, this information has to match the views that you have in your application, right? Here, each product will have a name and will have a price. in USD. Remember, the ID of each one of the products will match the ID from Stripe, so it is a lot easier for us to detect when Stripe changes, when Stripe has a product and we have to match it with the product that we have in our database, right? So let's go back here, and here let's add a function to read the information from the database, get the database data. There you go. Let's go here. Let's put the products catalog. And then we have the end callback. Let's debug log the information here so we can see what we have. Get database data. Now let's go to our section of logs. Let's remove everything. Let's clear our console. Let's go back here and restart the application. Okay, it's loading. There is the list of options that we have in this application. Let's go to products catalog. There you go. It's loading the products catalog, and we have our answer. The list of products is a null value because we didn't have any products in our database, right? I have to make a decision right here. It's going to be different when we don't have products. Then we compare it to the case in when we have products. No, I am only going to transform that null value into an empty array that will represent our products, right? In order to do that, let's add another code compute. You are going to notice my love for code compute functions, right? This one is going to be called format products. Okay, the information that we gave the function is going to be db products, and let's pass directly the information from the get database. Let's remove the debug log, and let's add some code right here. Oh, before we do that, let's copy this name and let's go full screen. Const equals to args, right? And here the only argument that we are passing is db products. And let's return the following: db products, or if that value is falsy, let's return an empty string. There you go. These symbols right here, these two question marks, mean that we take this value if it's not falsy. Falsy values in JavaScript are false, undefined, other one an empty string, 0, yeah. But we are expecting null or a collection or a record of values or an object in JavaScript. And if this one is null, is falsy, null is a falsy value, then we get an empty array. Let's close this one and let's add the debug log again, but this time below the code compute, right? Debug log. There you go. Let's print whatever it's returned from the code compute. And let's change the name of this get database, get products from DB. Okay, there you go. Let's check it out. Restart. Oh, before we check that out, let's go to the log section and let's remove everything, right? Okay, let's go to the products catalog. It is loading, and here you can see that we have our beautiful empty array, right? Now we can redirect this page to the actual page in which we are going to be having the information from our user. So let's do that. In order to do that, let's copy this one, create a copy. Let's remove the dog. It's not necessary anymore. Let's remove this text and let's remove this one. Now, I have a problem right here that I want to share with you that we need to find the solution to. And it's that I want this section right here to be exactly the same in the page in which we are going to be showing the products. Because let's change the name of this one. It's products catalog. And let's go back to our loader page. And here, instead of putting a debug log, let's add a replace top page, right? Replace top page. And let's go and put here the page, products catalog. And we are going to be passing the information, right, from the products. Let's add here a new variable called products. There you go. Let's go back here. And here in the part that we are replacing the page, let's add the products. The products is the value returned from format products. There you go. And now let's go back here and restart. Okay, we are going to check if the user is logged in. It is. Now we are on the home page. We have here this section with my profile picture and my name. If I go to products catalog, there you go. It didn't show the dog because it loaded too fast, but I want here exactly the same information that we have on the home. But before we do that, let's add a mechanism from which I can return to the home page, right? So let's go back here and let's add a button right here. There you go. Let's change the style. Remember, I don't like border radius like that. And let's change the color because this is the function to return to previous screen. Something like that and something like that. Double click on it. Return home. There you go. Let's make that a little bit bigger. And let's add here an onPress event. And here a replace top page. And this replace top page will go to the home page, but not to the home page. We are going to go to the splash screen because I want to check if the user is still logged in. So let's put here a splash screen. There you go. Let's restart. Splash screen first time, products catalog, return home. There you go. We have the basic navigation right there. Now, when we go to the products catalog, we need to recycle the same logic that we have to load this information, right? But the problem is right now, Apphive doesn't have support for components because that's a component. A component is a part of your UI that repeats itself in some other parts of your UI. In this case, this profile information repeats itself here and here. The problem is that it needs some validations, some modified controls in order for it to work. So here, for example, we have the display name, and the display name comes from the properties in this home data. So now I need to put that function somewhere else that we can use in both parts, in that page and in this one. And I don't like to repeat myself. In the future, we are going to be using components. We don't have components yet in Apphive, but we will because they are super useful. But for now, let's create an app process that will take this information and will modify the controls in the respective page to change the values, right? The first thing that we need is to create the app process that we are going to be calling in both of them. The app process will have the following name: UI profile data set. Okay, let's copy that in the function description. There you go. And let's add here the two properties that we will be needing. In this case is display name. And the second one is going to be profile picture, right? There you go. Now let's add only the first modified control. This modified control is going to be a little bit different from the one that we have here, because this modified control that we will be using, the modifier that we have here selects the data display name and also selects the text element, right? But in this one, I don't know the text element. It will change depending on which page we are in. So the dataset doesn't change. That's exactly the one that we already have, which is page data and display name, right? And let's put here this load display name. Okay, the element, I need to pass the element as a property to this function. So let's put the name here, display name element. Okay, and let's pass that one as a property here. I don't know if this will work. I suppose it will, but I don't know. So let's put the display name element, and the property that we are going to be modifying is the property which is called text. Okay, there you go. Let's add only that modify control and see if it works. So let's add the app process, and let's put that app process at the top of all of this. There you go. And let's pass the values, right? The display name comes from the page properties. Now the profile picture comes again from the display properties. There you go. And the display name element is the profile picture display name. There you go. Let's check if that works by removing the modify control. If it doesn't work, the name will not be shown. So let's check it out. Restart. Okay, it's not working. I don't know why. Let's check why, right? Let's add a debug log here. And this debug log is going to be first before the modify control. And let's print here the value from the page data display name element. Okay, let's check it out. Let's restart this one. Let's close this one and let's go back here and remove my log file so I can see the new one. Let's restart. Okay, dog walking, products catalog, return home. Okay, there you go. Now, the information that is shown right here is this one because I did pass the display name.text and I don't want to put that. I need to pass the whole element, right? Maybe that's why it didn't work. Let's check it out. Okay, it's working now. It shows Jorge R there. And now that we have that part, we need to do the same with the second part, which is the profile picture. Now, there is a problem still right here. The problem is very simple. The problem is that we load that information from here, from the welcome, we are loading your data, and we load the information here in the get database data. So if we go back here, and open this one, we are loading the profile, the public profile data here, but we are going to be loading that information each time we go to another page. So in order to don't repeat this function in particular, I'm going to be adding this get database inside of our process, right? So before we do the modify control right here, let's add here a get database data. There you go. Let's put it before our modifier control. And here, instead of using the display name and the profile picture URL that we have here, let's go here and here. Let's remove these ones. Instead of putting those values right here, we are going to be using the ID of our user, right? So let's remove this one and let's remove this one. There you go. And here, let's add in the get database data, get the public profile data, and let's add the user ID. There you go. And after we get the data, remember, we have two options. We have empty data and we have data that was coming from the database, and we did put that information right here. So in order for us to not keep repeating ourselves, let's copy this function. Let's go back here. Let's remove everything that we did and let's paste this function. This function will get the user, and after we get the user, it will check if the user, let's paste that one because I did press the copy button by accident. And after the user gets the data, if the data is empty, it will get from database, it will save, and after it saves, it will go and replace the page. We are not going to do that. We are going to remove this one. And when the data is obtained, we are going to remove this one. And after both of these, we have the information that we need, and we need to change the values, right? How I'm going to do that? Because we need to save the data right here, right? So let's collapse this one. There you go. Let's collapse this one. And let's add the modify controls after the get database data, right? So we could repeat the modify controls twice, one in the empty and one in the obtained data, or we can create a new process that will only load the information from our database. And this one right here will put that information in the UI. Let's do that. Let's add a new process. Let's put here get public, database, get public profile data. There you go. Let's put that one. Let's go back here. Let's copy this once more, and let's put that right here. Let's check it out. Here we have a code compute, and after the code compute, we have a save DataDB, and after the save DataDB, we have the then callback, right? And after that, let's add here then. There you go. And here, let's call that callback then, and let's return the values that we save in our database, which are these ones that we return here, the dot value. So let's do that. Okay, code compute, load the full values, dot value. Okay, sorry, the dot is not necessary. It only needs value, because we use this one value to get both informations, right? And the data obtained callback will only return the data from the database without doing anything else, right? Now we need to get that function here. Let's remove everything and let's add an app process that gets the values, and here it will do a debug log function, right? And let's print the value that is returned from the other app process. Let's check it out. Restart. It will break the name of my profile picture, but doesn't matter. That's correct right now. There you go. It broke it. And if I go to the log section, I should see the information returned, right? There you go. ID is dynamic loader. This is a little bit confusing because I didn't put that information right there. Let's go back to the page in which I am calling this one. And let's go back here. Get the book profile data. Okay. And let's go back here to our logs. Let's remove everything. And let's go back here. Exit app. Google account. Continue. Okay. There you go. And here. Okay. That's it. We have the display name and the profile picture URL. So now that we have both of them here, instead of putting a debug log, let's add a modify control. And this modify control will take the value returned from the first process, and the property is display name. And the element that will be modified is the one that I pass as a property to this app process. The property is called display name element, and the property that will be changed is text property. So now that we have all of that there, let's return here and let's restart. There you go. Now you can see the value actually changes. It's now Jorge R. And then let's do exactly the same with the image. Profile, picture, element, right? This is only a patch. In the meantime, after that, we need to create components, proper components, to do this kind of stuff, right? Let's copy the modify control, and here, instead of using the display name, let's use the profile picture that I don't remember how it's called. Let's print that one once more, and let's go back here. The profile picture URL is this one. Let's use that one. There you go. And the element that we are going to be modifying is the page data, display picture element. And the property, if I'm not mistaken, is called source. Let's check if that's correct by going to the unload here, and this modify control, the property is called source, right? Let's remove that one, and let's put here the element, which is the profile picture URL, the whole element. Let's check it out. Restart. Okay, it's working as expected, right? So now we are only going to copy this information from here to here, and again from here to here. Okay, now it's not properly oriented. That's not a problem because we can do this one. And now we have copies from both of these elements, right? And we can go to the unload part of these ones. And here, instead of putting only the get products, let's remove the get products, in fact, because the get products is going to be in this one only. And here, after we get here, let's add the UI profile data set. And let's select the elements, right? The element name, whole element. There you go. And the element with the profile picture. There you go. Let's restart. Okay, dog walking, products catalog. There you go. You can see the information don't change. We have the name and the profile picture there, and we have exactly the same profile picture there in the catalog, right? There you go. That's how you recycle the same information from two different views. Okay, in the next one, we are going to be actually building the list of products and putting that products in the Stripe account, right? Let me check if this actually work. No, it's still uploading. That's a problem. We need that to be instantaneous. So for now, that's all with me. Thank you for watching, and I hope I see you on the next one. Have a great one. Bye.